war has also been felt here in Canada. And I talked about that this morning as well. As we are seeing an alarming rise of anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and anti-Palestinian hate. In a concerning incident last week, the Toronto police arrested 3 individuals, and their hate crime unit is now actively investigating threats that were aimed at a Jewish high school in North Europe. A school we're talking about. Such acts of blatant anti-Semitism and hatred are deeply, deeply troubling. And it is essential that they are thoroughly investigated and addressed to ensure the safety and security of all community members. The Toronto police have also investigated 2 recent acts of vandalism at a local mosque, both believed to be hate-driven, one of which occurred on October 12th. At the mosque on Toronto, on Danforth and Don Lands Avenue, which has targeted with hate symbols and hateful writings. In the United States, and I want to share this example because it was particularly horrifying. In the United States, we have also heard about the heartbreaking story of a 6-year-old Palestinian American boy being stabbed 27 times by their landlord simply for being Palestinian.
Mm-hmm.
His mother, Hanan Shaheen, was attacked and severely injured by a man because she said she would pray for peace as the conflict in Israel and Palestine raged on. In these times, the urgency for a de-escalation and a ceasefire cannot be overstated.
No?
The loss of thousands of innocent lives, including women, children, the elderly, and their entire families, is unjustifiable.
That's right.
We must join the international community in calling for an immediate end to the violence.
That means Israel
I
stop.
join my Ontario NDP colleagues, and I think I can say this for everyone in this legislature,
I don't think
to
so.
call the federal
Maybe.
government to do everything
Maybe
possible to reunite family members of Canadians who were horrified and impacted by these attacks. We cannot lose any more lives. A colleague of mine, a staff member of our caucus, my friend Farah, who has given me permission to share this, so I will share her story. Farah last week received a call with unimaginably devastating news that she had lost 18 members of her family in Khan Yunis, Gaza. And 10 members of her family are still under rubble. 18 members of her family, the Samour family, gone in minutes. Grandparents, children, moms and dads, gone, and 10 of them are still under rubble. And Speaker, her story is just one of many. It is with her family in mind and the families of everyone affected by this horrific crisis that we call for a ceasefire, a humanitarian aid corridor to save innocent lives. And we call for us to work towards a sustainable solution where Israelis and Palestinians can live in peace, security, and mutual self-determination. The solution can only be political. There is no possible military solution to this decade-long conflict. I'm calling on our federal government to do everything in its power to stand with the United Nations in calling for peace and justice and to ensure the protection of civilians and respect for international law. Canada must also support international justice efforts by the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court to investigate war crimes by all military actors in Israel and Palestine. All war crimes by all parties to this conflict must be persecuted. I stand with all people in Israel and Palestine who yearn for peace, freedom, and security. And I thank you, Speaker.